While we try to be as helpful as possible, this podcast should not be considered as professional or financial advice. It contains general information only, and you should seek out professional advice for your own personal circumstances before making any financial decisions.
Welcome back, guys. I'm Julia.
And I'm Nick.
And this is the Enthusiast Lab. Alrighty, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Enthusiast Lab. In true fashion, we have come to this episode unstructured, but we have noticed that, we've had a couple more. Why am I so quiet? We've had a couple of people reaching out to us, asking, how to get into the industry, what it's like to become a building broker, how to become a building broker. So we thought we'll kind of do an episode about it and explain as much as we can, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. There's a bit to it. So a lot of people have been asking, we even had a Q&A as well, which we'll do a separate episode about. And they were, hey, how did Mr. E come about? And, if I went into a different niche, how would I structure that, to create a business from it? And it's a hard one because we had different things that motivated us to get into this building industry, and what Mr. Enthusiast has now become, even with this podcast, it just takes a life on its own, and you just adapt to it as the market and as the situation changes. So we will do our best, basically turn it into a bit of a breakdown on what are the things you should consider if you were to try and enter this marketplace or into this career side. Number one, before we start, something that I've learnt, and I think it's, to be honest, shout out to TikTok, because TikTok has some pretty cool shit. If you're in this for money, you're bound to fail.
Yes.
That's number one. With most businesses, if you're sitting there trying to make money, or you think this is a short grab because, sales consultants can earn 300-400K a year.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? It's bound to fail. Something's going to go wrong. So if you're focused on what we were always doing, yes, you're going to get paid for your service, but we focused on making a change based on our personal experience, right? We own that story because we lived through that. And then it grew from there. And now, obviously, we're quite successful and we're building from there.
We've created a whole structure, a business structure around experience, clients' experience. And
absolutely.
Making sure that the clients are heard and seen and understand what's happening. And that's, where we've based our business around. It is about
100%.
helping people build their first or second home.
Yep.
So our business model is about helping people. And the reward comes from that. Obviously, you do get monetary compensation for it, but I think that's where a lot of our success lies, where we're not chasing the dollar, we're chasing the clients to help.
Yeah, literally.
That's
literally
the best way of explaining it. What I would say, if you're a greenie to the building industry, I would recommend looking at gaining some experience by working for a builder first.
So let's dial it even further back from that.
Okay.
Right. Which we have done episodes, and the number one thing in the sales consultant role in building, there is no qualifications needed.
Yes.
There is no training. There is no course, so to speak, that is here's a 3-week breakdown on how to become a successful sales consultant. It doesn't exist. Right. Now, what we have seen in the market, there are a lot of people that have entered into the building market to become a sales consultant. They have had some previous sales experience, whether they've worked with dealerships or in sales in some aspect whatsoever, or someone that might have been in the building industry themselves, whether they were a tradie or actually doing other components like an estimator or actually building
some sort of admin.
Yeah, some sort of in that aspect. There's all sorts of different ways, but they've been the same, the types that we've seen the consistency of. And then you've had other people who have been in a similar situation that might have not had the best experience and wanted to try and make a change. Others that have actually built their own home and gone, I would like to help other people do this, and have seen a good positive concept of how it can go. And then they've actually entered into the market going, what I'm currently doing isn't going to pay the bills to where I want to be. So why not enter the market and do something like the experience that I've had myself and do that way?
What I would say, generally what we've seen is someone has either built or has been in the building industry in one form or another before they've made the jump to become a sales rep.
Yeah, or they've done sales.
Or they've done
general.
some sort of sales. So at least they've got some sort of sales knowledge or building knowledge, whether they,
Yes.
through their own build or by being, parallel to being a consultant, knowing something about the build industry at least.
Yeah, I see that.
So if that kind of falls into line with where you are at right now, at least you might have a little bit of knowledge about what it actually means to build a home, at least the bare basics, that
Potentially, even then you don't. Like if you went from selling cars to selling homes, that's a whole different ballgame.
It is, but okay, again, we're trying to help someone. So if they're making the leap, I would recommend seeing if you can find a job with a builder as a building consultant rather
Yes.
than jumping straight to becoming a builder broker, because that's a different kettle of fish.
That's a whole different ballgame.
So what I would recommend for someone entering into this kind of career path is see if you can find a job with a builder as a sales consultant or a qualifier, one of the
Yes.
two, where you are a front-facing role, you are engaging with clients who are, in the building industry, they're called leads. So you are being given leads to talk to clients and learn about the process.
Yep.
I think the best way of learning is hands-on learning. Absolutely, in the background, start looking at sketches and start trying to understand floor plans, start trying to understand quotes and everything like that.
Yeah.
You give me a look.
No, I'm letting you do your thing, and then I will put my input in.
Okay. So I would learn from that like that stage before jumping in and going for a builder broker.
Okay. So builder broker itself, have that separate, like what you said. 100%. If you haven't been in the building industry as a sales consultant for a minimum of 2 to 4 years as an average, I would say, do not consider looking at building broker, right? It's a whole different kettle of fish. You've got a whole different approach towards builders. They approach you differently because you're a separate entity versus working for one specific builder. Financial wise, all sorts of things, right? So you want to kind of set yourself up before you go the builder broker path. If you want to just enter the market, 100% agree. Go to some of the bigger builders. And the reason why is because of the fact that a lot of these bigger builders, they have a lot of display homes that do need to be filled. And they don't want to be just paying for hosts to come and save some numbers and then pass it on to a consultant. So they may give you very minimal training, which is pretty standard, and basically throw a book at you with a set of keys and go, you're working out this display home, sort yourself out. You don't perform, you're out. And there's a lot of people that make or break very quickly in 3 to 6 months. It's a very high turnover career.
I would also add to that, keeping in mind, not a lot of builders offer a salary. So
Absolutely.
if you are entering into this career path, have 3 to 6 months worth of savings that will tie you over 3 or 6 months worth of not receiving any income, like as a bare minimum.
Absolutely.
Or work out if you're in a couple, you're the male or you're the female and the other partner is working, make sure that partner's income can cover. The both of you for that interim.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you might not have income for 3, 6, 12 months.
Yeah.
With the market today, with
You're
land
probably looking
titling,
up to 12 months.
Up to 12 months.
Yeah. So imagine working, busting your hole, and this is the part that no one really shares, working flat stick 7 days a week. You want to work, you want to be successful? Fucking 8 to 12 hour days every day, no breaks, and don't get paid for 12 months. That's what you got to be prepared for. If you think you can just walk into a career like this, and this is not to scare people, this is the harsh reality.
Yeah.
If you think you can walk into this and walk out and make hundreds of thousands of dollars within a 6 month period, you're barking up the wrong tree. Even in a boom, you're barking up the wrong tree, because if you don't do it right, which is what happened in 2020, a lot of shady people entered the market and tried selling. Shit hit the fan, bills will chase you. You will become the first liability that will start taking your pay even after it's been agreed upon if things are going wrong. So you got to watch out for so many different aspects. But it's definitely doable. There's a lot of positive as well with this type of career, which is you are helping change people's lives and circumstances. You know, it's a lot of trust for those people to come to you, you know. And at the end of the day, someone has to start from somewhere. You know, there's a lot of companies and brokers and everything that go, you know, we've been around for a long time, you know, and you're going to put your trust into this person that's only been there for 6 months. I was that person. Mm-hmm. And I was a young blood, this and that. But if you know what the fuck you're doing and you're there to make sure that you help people, people will fall in line and actually believe in what you're doing.
Yeah, they
and
gravitate towards you.
And they will put that trust into it. Like when we did our first 2-story home for Alice and Jono, sat there and said, I have not fucking done this, but like, I really
I'll do my best.
I appreciate the opportunity. We'll work through this together. We will learn together. And they took that trust and they took that chance on me. And in the long run, we ended up doing a great home for them. But at the same time, do you know what I mean? It's
being upfront,
reciprocal.
you know, and being upfront, being honest about, you know, hey, I'm new into the industry. We're going to learn together, and you'll find that 9 times out of 10 clients don't mind if they're learning with you, as long as you're being upfront rather than trying to say I know everything, and then you make a blunder and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So yeah, first is I would look at partnering up into a builder as a sales consultant.
Yes.
Second is make sure you got savings behind you, because money will not come straight away.
Yep.
Once you're in the industry for 1 to 3 years' time, then you'll start to see money coming in. And it again depends on how much you're selling.
Yes.
And I don't really know what, you might be able to answer this better than I will.
Go on.
What would you say is a great figure for someone to sell in a year? Like as a sole rep, I would say.
If you're first starting out, if you can be knocking out a deal a month, you're doing okay. You're doing about, in current market conditions, probably turning around about 150K, about there.
Depends.
One deal a month.
Depends what builder you're aligning with and how much they're paying.
As an average, because costs have increased a bit compared to what they used to be. But again, there's so many fluctuations in that. So I'd say you will start in that 100, 150K mark if you're selling one home per month. That is net. So that's not you sign someone up and then they cancel 6 months down. This is you've had 12 homes in that year gone on the ground, slab down, they're in construction.
And the 150K is gross. So
exactly, that's gross. That's before tax. So you got to remember you've got, you know, taxes you got to pay. Again, and this also structures with different building companies. A lot of them, some of them are actually starting to offer salary basis because they're hiring you as an employee rather than as a business. So there's different incomes with that as well. So there's many different avenues. There's no one size fits all. It's definitely worth having conversations. In the current market, 2025, there is a lot of builders looking for sales consultants. We have seen, and you know, there was something that we were looking at with a potential rep from Mr. E. But in terms of there are availability, so it's never it's not available type of thing. But you just got to understand everyone has different structures, how they want to pay for you. The less experience and the less things you have to bring to the table, the less you're going to be presented up front. As you develop more experience and more clientele and more a name for yourself as such, something that brings something unique and value to these companies, then you start discussions with income
negotiations,
and exactly. And maybe you're not working in a display home that's an hour away from home. You might be working something closer to home, or again, so many different avenues. So
different variants, yeah.
Exactly. There is no standard path to succession type of thing.
No.
It's a very windy road. But there's a lot of opportunities and you got to be able to take risks. There is a lot of risk with this, but the risk reward, this is why you go into these big sales. There is uncapped potential.
Yes.
You sell 100 fucking homes, man, you're smashing it.
You're living it up.
You're living it up. But at the same time, you know, if you're only selling 10 because that's all you need and that's what you're happy with, that's also okay. Do you know what I mean? So there's
pros and cons. Lots of different pathways of getting to the end goal. And I think for a lot of us in the industry, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I think for a lot of us in the industry, I don't know if we know what the end goal is other than helping people, like if that makes sense.
Yeah. There's many that are just literally in it for money now.
Yeah. What I was going to say is the next thing to really think about or look into is a good tax accountant.
Fuck.
A good tax accountant
This
can
makes or breaks you.
absolutely make or break you. And we got caught out
The first 2 years.
Yeah, the first 2 years where we didn't have a good tax accountant who understood what we did, and absolutely shot us in the foot, because what you're earning is gross. You have to factor in your BAS, you have to factor in your GST, you have to factor in your tax on top of everything.
GST, technically, you don't need to register yourself. So this is if you are your own business.
Yes.
So again, this depends on the structure. If you are your own business, we had no business mind. We didn't have family that had, had their own businesses. So they don't teach you shit at school. So we pulled our trust into some accountants, and they were just they said they specialize in businesses and all that, but obviously every business is different.
Yep.
And this is a very different, unique situation. Anyways, long
Made
story
a
short,
blunder.
we got fucking shafted. We were very fortunate. We got referred to someone, and that legend absolutely fucking saved our hides. It was pretty rough for about 18 months after that.
We got slapped
until
with a
we
big
paid
tax bill.
Big tax bill
that we weren't prepared for, basically.
Yeah, because apparently some money got implemented into the business, which then turned into a loan, which then accrued interest, which we were never aware of. It was just, again, when you don't understand things, you want to find someone, and the biggest thing I advise is when you start earning quite a lot of coin in this situation, you got to be paying a decent chunk of that
To a tax accountant.
Because when you
Absolutely.
do, that means that you're actually saving money back. If you think you can get all of this done for very cheap and accountants charging you very minimal, you're probably not maximizing your income.
Be ready to spend money to save money, if you will.
100%.
I know it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense, I swear.
And no, you got to spend money to make money, but you got to be able to create the money in the first place, which is the fuck bit.
Yes. From there, so if you have been a sales consultant for a little while, you're kind of doing okay in the industry, and you're thinking of becoming a builder broker, that's a different kind of leap.
Yep.
So what we are seeing in the industry is most builder brokers have their own niche or their own kind of business model of clientele that they're focusing on.
Yes.
So for us, we are enthusiasts. We are passionate about garages and cars, but we're also passionate about anything you're passionate about, really, whether you're doing a stripper pole or you're doing a golf simulator or you're doing a huge sex room or like a big entertaining area, whatever you are passionate about and you need in your home, you're building because you want to build what you want. That's what we're about.
Yeah, well, that's how it all started.
Yes.
If you're the whole point of build versus buy, you're buying a block of land with a house that's plopped on it. When you're building, build what you want, obviously based on your budget. But at the end of the day, we were stripping this whole situation with the builders telling you what you need and actually sitting there and listening to what our clients want and going, if you want that gaming room, that's okay. Let's focus on that. Make sure we have everything else that we need, but that is your thing. Do not shy away from it. We're trying to bring the client's voice up and just amplify it going. At the end of the day, you're paying for it, not us. So let us do our job to listen to you and to find that solution.
Yeah, I think by chance we kind of got bottlenecked into the garage designs, and it's what we do well because Nick is so passionate about cars.
Well, I live and breathe it.
You do. So,
Racing,
we've got a race
everything.
car, we had a drift car, we've got a 4B, we had a daily. So we looked at all the cars that we had and we know cars. Well,
Yeah.
not me, Nick. Nick knows cars, I know fuck all. That's why I have a husband.
Wow, that's sexist as fuck.
It's the facts, though. We kind of got bottlenecked into the garages, but our niche is garages plus.
Yeah, plus.
some.
Which, again, we just honed on what we got to know.
Yeah.
And what we ended up bringing to the market was so far-fetched and so left field that no one was doing it. And then when we actually went into it, we've got our car scene, I'm quite into the car scene with the racing, with Power Cruise, the exposure, our demographic, because we were quite young, a lot more into the socials. And, from my background with being in the mechanic industry, you've got all these different aspects that were, I wasn't trying to pretend to be someone I'm not, and everyone wanted someone authentic. They were sick of all this fucking slick hair back salesmen in a suit just rocking up and telling you what you need to do. And that's what I think really attracted with the whole, because it was so
Different. It was so raw.
different. Yeah, it was so different. And I just went, this is sick. And then we just amplified that. And now we're going, cool, people are aware of that. Now we can really still focus and put more shine onto the other avenues of what we do.
So but to circle back, I would suggest finding what kind of niche or target clientele that you are looking to attract. Because if you're trying to attract everyone, I think you're going to fail, essentially.
Yep.
Because you're trying to do too much.
Yes.
Start marketing and pinpointing what kind of clientele you want to attract to your business model.
What can you relate to? What is something that is genuine? Like, some people are really into books. So, do you know what I mean? Like, you might be an absolute, like, there's a book talk, fucking whatever the fuck
book
it is.
talk. Like, maybe you focus on libraries in the homes and making
Sports, everything.
Yeah, sports or, gym setups in the garage or gym setups in a room. Whatever it might be. It might not be a specific thing in the home. Maybe you're targeting a demographic of people, in certain cultures or whatever it might be.
Yeah, we've got heaps of that specialize just with people from New Zealand
or Filipinos,
the African community, the Chinese community, like so many different communities, and they are real into it. Say less,
because
man.
they understand
Indian community. Fuck,
yeah,
that's
like
huge.
they understand what that demographic seek in a home. So they have, homes and
specific
builders.
homes and approaches to accommodate that is more focused on that specific.
Exactly.
Yes.
And from there, I would say you need to start up a Facebook, an Instagram, and probably a TikTok.
I don't know about TikTok. TikTok you can get
TikTok
away
is
with.
wishy-washy.
I definitely still think Facebook and Instagram is still very relevant. You need to have a fucking website.
I was going to say website.
Even if it's not a full-blown website like how we've turned ours, a landing page, something to show some authenticity about who the fuck you are.
Yep.
And it's really becoming one of those things where people are doing so much more research now before they even pick up that phone to reach out. So if you don't have those things, yes, that's great. You've got word of mouth and someone will help you and support you. But if you're looking at on the outside, looking into you, you'd want to have quite a few different avenues where someone can look at you. Even if you don't have many followers, it's okay. You've got something. You're showing the commitment, that grit, that you're working for it. And those things really do help.
Yeah, as well as a logo and some sort of branding.
Yes.
So yeah, if you're going down and transitioning into the builder broker space, find out your niche, start getting your socials together. So your Facebook, your Instagram, and a website. And some sort of branding.
Absolutely.
It doesn't necessarily have to be, like we've got Mr. Enthusiast. It can be your name. So there's Damo the Tradie, who's doing great.
Yep.
And
Emily Rose Homes.
Emily Rose Homes,
Yep.
they've used their names. And then there are builder brokers like us, or Mr. Enthusiast or Boss Building Brokers. There are other builder brokers out there that have picked different names. But get some sort of branding, get a logo together, and then showcase that you are stepping into that next step of the industry, if you will. Because it shows authenticity, but it also shows professionalism in a way.
Correct.
When I think about places I want to shop at that I see on Instagram, whether it's a clothing brand or I want to send flowers to someone, I'll go Google it on Instagram and someone will pop up. Instantly, I'm going to go into the link tree and find their website to see what they're about. Where are they? If you don't have a website, I find that I tend to kind of take a step back and go, I'll look at someone else, see that they've put effort into at least a landing page and a website.
Yeah. There's heaps of people that literally don't have a full functioning website. You don't need to. You just have that landing page that talks about who you are, what you're doing, how could they reach you, what is it that you're trying to provide, what services, having it very cut and clear and very simple is what it's all about. This is different. So this is what we're talking about, a actual building broker, which means that you then have the opportunity to have multiple builders with you. That is different from what we're seeing a lot on at the moment, which is online personalities. And what I mean by online personalities is these sales consultants are actually still working with one builder. However, they are trying to brand themselves as something different, which is what I classify as an online personality. And what that is they still only work for one of these big major builders, and they might actually be in a display home, but they will call themselves something completely different, like an actual separate business. And they brand themselves that way, rather than it being Jack from fucking Red Ink Homes, or do you know what I mean? Like something like that. It's an actual whole business that they're trying to do. However, you got to my opinion, you got to understand which avenue you're going to go, because at the end of the day, you will still be bottlenecked with that one builder rather than the opportunity with multiple builders.
I mean, it might be a really great stepping stone. And I think a reason why a lot of these sales reps are starting to brand themselves is because it's another form of lead generation.
Yes.
Whereas
self-generation.
Internal reps are relying on the builder to provide them
with business.
Yep. Whereas the online presences are starting to generate their own leads or own clients to sell to. So they can almost double dip from the builder and from what they're bringing in.
Yep.
And it might be a great stepping stone towards becoming a builder broker. You know, that might be the safest way, where you're still getting something from builders, but you're also bringing something in yourself, and you can dabble to see if you bring in enough
to be able to
leads to then go out completely on your own.
Correct. That's the biggest thing about building
that is
brokers.
The biggest thing.
It is, you are building your own business. You are creating your own clientele and lead source that you will then, selling to whichever builder that you're doing. So you can open more markets to try and generate more business. But like Julia said, do not spread yourself too far. We see it very often in the market, and it's a struggle town when you start taking on everything and realize you're not a pro at everything, but you take all these on, and some jobs are very time consuming and not very rewarding in the long run, that all of a sudden you almost regret yourself and you have to restructure the whole business. You don't want to be doing that straight away. You want to really come in with a very clear idea on what you're trying to get and what you're trying to aim for, and then do it that way. Like, we winged it, but we kind of still knew which way the avenue of the business was going.
We stuck in a lane.
We're stuck in our lane, and that's the biggest thing. We veered a little bit out and went, I don't think this is actually worth it. And my biggest thing is I am simple as fuck. So I went there and we did a lot more complicated jobs. And when I sat there and I said, I love the clients, I love the home, it is cool, but the time it's taken me to do this one, I could have done 5 other homes.
Yeah.
So then I went back to myself and went, do I want to get paid potentially a little bit more on these much bigger contract values, like some of these higher end homes? Or do I sit there and go, I can utilize and do smaller amount with this flat fee that we do with all of our builders now, and go, I can do 4 or 5 of them, which in my turn then grows our business and our exposure, which then reaches more people. And we're getting that a lot now in the time in our business. Someone knows someone that knows someone. And if you do a good job, it builds up from there.
Word spreads. I think we need to explain, when we say spreading yourself too thin or doing too many different jobs, like there's single story, there's double story, there's custom homes, there is what are the duplexes, like a house behind a house.
Yes. Yeah.
Subdivision.
Yeah,
there's
like
battle axe blocks. Yep. Like there's a lot of different kinds of builds out there, and what we have realized works.
Full investor versus retail.
Investor, yeah.
Yep, that's a whole different ballgame.
What we realize works best for us is single story with some modification.
Yep.
You know, every so often we've dabbled in a custom plan.
Yes.
And we've got one builder that specializes in that. And generally speaking, we actually let the builder sit down with the client to draw up the plan, rather than us going to and from with the client sketching, because that's where a lot of the time takes.
Absolutely. So we are doing a bit more of that, and we've actually got some really cool designers that have worked with builders. So they're not just the full architect, because I've got a thing against them in terms, I do, because a lot of the architects are doing what they've been told to do. However, they don't understand the budget side of actually doing it through budget builds, etc. So sometimes they can go on a bit of a tangent to really make it look killer. However, don't understand that the cost implications for it, because they've already been paid for their project.
Yes.
So, but when you're actually on behalf of the builders, they sit there and look at these projects with all these fancy shit. You're going, well, here's fucking 45 grand in this elevation, and these skylights are here, and blah, 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 which on a little bit more simplified version will have saved the client $100,000.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's that type of stuff. Whereas these designers have worked with builders, but they also have free reign as well if they need to go full high end. And those are the ones that we found someone that really works really well with that. And yeah, when I see something that goes a little bit too hard, but again, time in the industry, we got to know them very well, and we've got some good agreements in place. We just send it off to them. Hey, talk to this person, sort your shit out, then come back and we've got the builders to allocate it. And it gives the clients flexibility to really go as far as they want or as minimal as they want.
So, going to circle us back.
Yeah,
so,
sorry.
if you are going into the builder broker space, make sure your socials are up to date. Or if you're going into the, what did you call it? The
Online personality.
online personality transitioning
Yes.
into builder broker.
So self-generation
Mm-hmm.
is that online personality, and then transitioning into
A builder
builder broker.
yes. By then, you should have your socials up and running, and you should
Yes.
have a little bit of a following by now, where you are generating enough business to sustain yourself.
Yep.
And keep in mind your top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom funnel.
Yes.
Wow, that is a tongue
Yeah,
twister.
Yep.
Where
Top, middle, bottom.
where say you might meet with 50 people, 20 of those people might come back for an appointment, and you might sign 3.
Yep.
So you need to be able to generate a lot of leads, keeping in mind that not every single person you meet with is going to sign up.
Yes.
Because of budgets, because of personal reasons, because they might not like the product or the builders
Savings,
you
yeah,
have. Like there's
savings
so many
products,
different
yeah.
reasons why they might not sign up. So you need to have a big lot of clients inquiring to get to that point where you are selling that 1, 2, 3, whatever a month.
Those figures are very rough as
Yeah,
an
yeah.
example. That is, because like if you've
I'm
had
just throwing
20,
shit in the air.
look, if you've had 20 meetings and you're only converting 3, I'm concerned for you.
Well, that's not bad.
20 meetings that are qualified and you're converting 3.
I'm saying no. First is just a meeting, then you've got your qualified leads, and then you've got your conversion.
Yeah, so you've got 50 people that reach out to engage.
Yes.
Then 20 that actually come in for a meeting.
Qualify.
And for a meeting. Then you've qualified, and then you and that have converted into it. You won't do like 1 for 2. 3 is still good, but like, yeah, you'd want to look at the circumstances. Right now, it's very interesting, just budgets. Do you know what I mean? There's so many different circumstances and projects. We might get 10 projects this week, as an example, that all want full custom. We probably won't take them on. We might only do 2 because of the capacity of our builders and with the capacity of our workload too, and where we focus. Just as an example for people to understand.
So the numbers we're throwing out, like it's all just up in the air.
Definitely is. Definitely is.
You can
From
tell.
someone in the fucking industry, definitely is.
I don't know, I'm just throwing shit
If
out.
I've got 50 people reaching out to me every week, fucking say less, man.
Fuck off. Maybe a month. I don't know. Okay, so your socials are up. You got to make sure that you've got enough lead generation and happening. I would also then start looking at the builders, because a builder broker sells to 2 builders or more.
Yes.
I would say cap out at 4 or 5, like that's a lot, because you have to maintain price lists, you have to maintain in your mind the designs, the inclusions, the specs on all these individual builders, because not one shoe fits all.
Yes.
So one builder might have a freestanding bath included, the next one might have mitered edge included, and vice versa. They don't have the other one included as standard. They might have 31 cores throughout, whereas the next builder might have 31 cores to the living
areas
dining.
only.
So you have to know all these kind of aspects of
Like the
each
back of your
builder.
hand.
Yeah, like the back of your hand.
Basically, as if you were selling for just that company themselves.
You need to know all their info.
That's our expectation of what people should be doing.
Yes.
Right? There are companies as building brokers that have like 14 different builders
Yep.
on their panels because they're a lot larger and they do multiple things. In our opinion, this is what we think. We think grabbing those 3 to 4, maximum 5, and again, once you know what avenue you want to try and go down, whether it's just standard new builds in new estates or that house behind the house, find the right builders that have a good reputation, understand them like the back of your hand, because those guys, these builders, are a reflection of your business.
They represent you as much as you represent them.
Absolutely. Because yes, you can build a great profile, but I can assure you, if you get the wrong builders and you just sit there and start slamming the builders, you're not going to last long. The industry is very small. You don't want to be burning bridges with builders, but at the same time, you want to have the right builders to reflect your business model and what you're offering and work it together. Because when you work as a unity and the end goal is the client, that's where everyone wins, and you'll grow and earn more money doing that the correct way.
On top of finding builders that you want to align with, I'd also suggest finding, if you don't already have a finance broker that you generally align with,
Yeah.
clients will come to you not knowing much at all. They don't know their budgets. They don't know their finances. A lot of people don't know how to apply for a mortgage or
Yep.
anything entitled like with a mortgage.
Yep.
So people will be coming to you seeking for financial advice and help. Not advice, but advice, but not advice. I get financial help or guidance.
Assistance. Yes.
And we can't provide that, but our finance broker can guide you in the right direction and work out how much you can borrow with the income that you have and the debts that you have and all the other jazz. So we partner with Maddie from WeFinance, and that's who like our preferred broker is. If the clients come with their own broker, absolutely, we can
Not
still
a
work with
problem.
that.
However, Maddie will still be checking over. That is something that we've put into
Yeah.
play because we've worked with Maddie for quite a while. Listen to what she does, 100% approval rate. She's a weapon.
Absolutely.
So we've had a couple instances where things haven't gone correctly, utilizing some external brokers. So from my point of view, I'm not wasting time because we don't get paid until the slab goes down. So what we've done is we just do a quick little check. Everything seems to be stacking up the same. Not a problem. We can still utilize that external party. And that's how we do it.
Because, clients will come to you seeking for help with finances. They don't know what the goal is.
Yep.
And generally speaking, when you sign up a client, you're gonna need to probably allocate some sort of settlement agent.
Yep.
This is, you don't have to, but I find that most building brokers have a preferred broker and a preferred settlement agent.
Yeah. Some finance brokers have, companies that they use consistently and they
Yep.
might advise. Some land developers, if you start working with quite a few land developers, they might have someone as well. There's heaps of them out there. You can search them up. They're all, in my opinion, a lot of them are very similar. Price points are very similar, give or take a few $100. It more comes down to how that service is, what that settlement agency can help provide the assistance and guidance for clients, because we didn't know what the fuck we're doing with the settlement documentation. So having someone that is a point of call and guidance can help create that extra value that can then re-implement into your business. So all these small components do come into consideration.
They're the 1%ers, and we
Yes.
partner with Christy from Alpha Conveyancing, Christy
Yeah.
and Charlotte. So, keep that in the back of your mind. But by this stage, you probably have someone that you prefer working with
Yep.
for both aspects. But keep that in the back of your mind that this is something you'll eventually need to find.
Yep.
And then as a building broker, because you are not selling to one builder, you're selling to multiple, you're going to need to find a place of work.
I highly recommend this. Yeah, if you haven't, if there are building brokers that are jumping around meeting clients or going to different builder display homes type of thing, I just think it's very unethical and it's very wrong. You need to put the cash behind, like you said, and get your own place.
If not
It's very hard.
if not your own place, because we did this for a little while and we were only working for one builder at the time. Driving to clients' homes is an option.
Yeah.
Meeting clients and say a cafe or an open space is the second option. Not ideal because
ideal when
no
you're
one really
talking
wants to have finance chats in Dome. But-
Go have a finance chat at Dome when you're talking about spending $750,000. Like,
Not ideal, but if you don't have the cash behind you yet, to be able to afford a commercial property,
don't jump into this industry until you're ready.
Nick, for a variety of different people, if you're okay with driving to people's homes, elevates your service, but be aware
sure.
that you're spending the time.
You're going to lose quite a bit of time. We used to do it, right?
But that's what I'm saying. We
Yeah,
used to do it until we were
until
working
we got to our position.
to where we are now.
Yeah, but
So-
the reason why we stopped and why it is worth investing into this side, even if you're just renting, which again has its own thing with taxes and all of that and outgoings. But the benefit in doing so is you got to take into consideration if you, let's say you had 15 meetings this week and they were spread sporadically. For, let's say in one day you had 2 meetings that you were driving, one was north, one was south. You might be losing a potential of about 4 hours in travel time going in between meetings, because sometimes meetings can roll over a little bit longer than what you expect. So all these components really take into account. So having your own office space, you can, at the end of the day, it starts sifting clientele as well, that if they're not willing to travel to meet with you, it might not be the right fit for you as well. So you need to work all of that out. But honestly, now with all the stuff since COVID, Zoom, you might even get away.
Zoom.
You might even get away with doing quite a lot of your stuff remotely with a client. Until you build yourself into a position where you might have your own office, because it just again shows a little bit more of that authenticity that, hey, we are serious.
We're established, yeah.
We're established. Do you know what I mean? I definitely think by the time you're as a builder broker, definitely should be having that. I wouldn't be jumping to that point until you understand there's going to be a lot more outgoing costs to run your own business and to create that side. I would rather you be a self-generated consultant for a longer period of time till you really establish yourself to this point where it's all on you. You're not relying on the builder for, leads from a display home if you're working from it or from online, inquiry or anything. It's all on you.
Yep.
And clients are coming to you and then converting it into whatever it is. That's the way I'll do it, 100%.
What I would say, depending on how much you're selling from get-go, from day one of when you have entered the industry, I probably wouldn't become a builder broker until about the end of year 3.
Year 3, earliest. Year 3, year 4.
I'm saying at the earliest. There are some people out there that are absolute guns, and they are working for their money. They are working their hours away,
and they get in from like year 2.
And
they're fully established builder broker,
and they're fantastic. And those guys are killing it.
Yeah, go for it.
But as a safety net, by the end of year 3, depending on how much you're selling, is where I would start looking at transitioning into that online presence and then into the builder broker space.
If you're only selling 10 or 12 homes, do not go to builder broker. It won't be enough to help justify
the costs,
the outgoing costs, and then to still be able to yield a strong net income that will actually make it worthwhile, because you're going to be working a lot harder and there's a lot more competition when you're up against that side. Like it is, there's great parts to it, but there's also negative. And at the end of the day, time is money. That's something probably I've learned after 9 years. You can earn all this money, but if you have zero time, it's pointless. You want to be able to have some sort of balance. Otherwise, it can make or break relationships. It can make or break everything.
Yep. And obviously making content, you have to make the content for your socials, for your website, for everything.
You'll become a content creator.
So you kind of become this mini content creator, and
learn to dance.
It honestly is quite daunting for the first, I wouldn't even say take them out. It's like for the first couple months, it's very uncomfortable to sit there and have a phone at you and you're talking to them like, hey guys, this is me and me. Let's look at this. It's really hard.
I guess it depends on which way your personality goes. Like you don't do too much of that if you're going down the path of like investment, stuff like that. You could also have some of your clients that if you get really close with them could help do some of those, some exposure, create some content and stuff like that. We did it. I don't even know how the fuck that started, to be honest. We always took the photos of, we did the slabs, not slab signings, but slab parties. We did the client's photo when we did the handover gifts, like all these components. So there was always photos involved in it. But I don't actually remember where the full selfies really came into play.
Talk It Out Tuesdays or Talk It Out Thursdays.
Yeah,
that's where it started.
Right. And then the Q&As and shit.
Yeah, because the amount of bloopers I've got of you stumbling, trying to answer the questions, it was, And then we got onto site and we're like, we should actually showcase what we're talking about on Talk It Out Thursdays, and we went to site and started taking the reels.
Yeah.
But be prepared to be in front of a camera and start making content.
Don't hide behind a brand or an image. The more you show authenticity of yourself, you will immediately, the clientele over time, the market will gravitate to a certain type, whether you like it or not.
Yep.
And then you just work your way through it, and that's what ends up becoming that full-on demographic that you start working towards.
And the last thing, once you're kind of established enough, you're making a good amount of money, you can start looking at hiring people to help you continue to sell and grow.
Yep.
So from the beginning, let's break it down maybe in like a chewable chunk. If you are only just thinking about entering this as a career, I would look at starting off at a builder.
Yes. An established builder.
An established builder, and becoming a sales rep, whether that's display, online, or self-generated, whatever it is.
Yep.
Start off as a rep at one builder. Once you have got a good amount of knowledge with the sales process and the concept of building, then you can start looking at marketing yourself a little bit with an online presence. This is where you start up your social medias and your website and start marketing yourself, as well as still selling for that one builder.
Find your niche. Immediately.
And once you've done that well enough and you feel like you're bringing in enough business to cover yourself, your overheads, pay the mortgage, pay the bills, put food on the table, then start looking at becoming a builder broker. For anyone who has no knowledge of the building industry, for example, if you've just built a home and you're thinking to become a builder broker, I would advise against it. I think it is too big of a jump and you're risking yourself financially.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's a big one. There's also the aspect of this, right? the way I would structure it, definitely start with learning the ropes of working in a display home, working with a builder, understand how to create packages, how to understand different client concepts, understand the zoning on different blocks, how to utilize it, how to do this efficiently, get some sort of financial training, whether that's getting some guidance through the builder if they give any sort of, training on, like an hour run workshop type of stuff.
Find
scenario.
a rep to take you under their wing.
Mentoring.
Yes.
Mentoring. If you can find a good mentor, that definitely helps. If you can find a good finance broker, that will help you substantially over a long period of time. Even if you can spend some, 30 minutes to an hour with them, just to understand things. The more you're quick and on the ball, the clients are going to stay and see that you're a lot more switched on and they feel a lot more confident, which will result in helping you with converting those deals a lot more. Whereas if you've got all these people and you're just relying on the builder to draw the plans, the builder to do this, the broker to do this, and you can't actually give any additional value right off the bat, still get it supported, but having that additional value up front is going to be a lot more harder to convert deals.
I would say
it's a cutthroat industry. This is the part. It's a very cutthroat industry. So what I'm trying to say is, as you're growing over the years, like just try and find every avenue that you can learn and grow more as a person, as a consultant.
Build that knowledge
and that worth, and show how you can provide that value for someone to believe in you, that you will be that person that's going to guide them through, because this is the biggest purchase for many people in their life.
Yeah, as a builder broker, we're talking again end game here. As a builder broker, people are coming to you because they believe that you are going to be the advocate and the guide for them.
Absolutely.
A lot of first home buyers are between 18 and 33 years of age. Most of them none of them have had a home before, unless they're second home buyers. They haven't had a home before. They haven't had a mortgage before. They don't know what building actually entails. And you need to be able to show that you are going to be that person that supports and guides them, because that's what people are going to builder brokers for.
Absolutely. That you know your shit. That they don't know anyone. They look up at you and you go, I got you, fam.
I got you.
I got you.
You got questions? Call me. So whenever you enter the market, the industry, start gaining that knowledge. Bring a book. We had a book, like a Holy Gospel book that you carried around for ages, where you took down every note that you could.
Yeah.
You learned something new, you wrote it down. You're like, what are R codes? Okay, research it, wrote it down. You had so many notes until you knew it off the back of your hand. Now, when someone asks you, can I fit this kind of design on this kind of block? And you're like, oh, nope, no chance, because of the zoning and because of this and because of that, the site coverage.
Yeah. And then there's ones where you go, this is a grey area, we can push it, but this is the risk you got to take into consideration. But the thing is, people know that on the same day, within the minute.
Correct.
Rather than it becoming let me get back to you in 2 days.
The longer people have to wait for you to get back to them, the more time they have to change their mind, to shop around with someone else.
Yep.
And it's those kind of clients who, might see you first, and then they'll come while they're waiting for you to get back to them in 2 to 4 days. They might have met with Nick, and Nick's already given them all the information up front, ready to go. You can sign up on the spot or tomorrow or whenever.
Yep.
And that's how you lose deals, because you don't have the knowledge up front. You can't provide that up front.
Yep.
I think that's more or less everything, I guess.
So basically, to all of our followers, sorry, I think you just learned how to become a consultant. It's not very client related, this one, but I think this was bound to happen. Like we did want to do this for a while. Hopefully now when the next person asks me, I'll just be like, hey, just go check out episode blah, 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 whatever it is. This gives a bit of a rundown. Obviously, we're still very open. Like I used to be, and I'll just admittedly, I used to be a lot more closed off and like gatekeep a lot, because you just learn that how cutthroat the business is. Now, man, like I don't give a fuck. If I've got the time, I'm happy to try and give some sort of direction and guidance. I'm not going to sit and become everyone's mentor. I don't know if I should start charging if I want to do something like that in the future.
Stop it.
That can become my new career path as I venture away from sales.
Which we're not.
No,
Settle
we're not.
down.
I'm saying when I'm like 20 years in the track, you never know. But yeah, like hopefully gives a lot more an understanding for people. Like there's a lot to it. The biggest like takeaway from all of this, you gotta get some experience. You gotta have some cash behind you. As a worst case, you got to be always protect yourself.
Yes.
So what I mean by protect yourself is no matter how good the builders are, how good the developers are, how good the clients are, always protect yourself because you got to be able to put food on that table. You got to make sure that you do the right thing. If you're chasing money as this is your career path, you are bound to fail.
Money will come.
Money will come when you do the right thing. And in a business like this, you do the right thing, it will exponentially help you grow. You do the wrong thing, it only takes one or two people to have a very strong voice and that will fuck you up.
Absolutely.
So you don't want to be going down that path. Do the right thing. If you do something wrong, take ownership. Learn. You're gonna get some fucking hits. Be prepared to cry in the corner a few times. It will happen. It's a rough fucking ride. There are very big highs and very big lows. There is no consistency with this and balance. You need to understand you may have to go 90, 95% all in, and then you can slowly dial back to get a bit of
Personal life.
a bit of a personal life and balance, and then go back in again, depending on how you want to structure yourself and where you want to go. But that's the harsh realities. And if you've got a partner, a supportive partner will go so fucking far. Like the success of Mr. Enthusiast is Julia, hands down. As much as people want to talk about all the other shit, I bust my hole. If Julia didn't support me, no chance would be where we are. Because working together as a fucking team, again, don't expect that you know, the two of you are going to be in the business. It may just be yourself, but having an understanding partner, male, female, whichever way it is, can go so fucking far. Because if you're clashing heads at home, you're going to end up bringing that into the business. So working together for the same end goal, you're laughing.
Ooh, love you.
Yeah. Well, it's 100%.
It is a game changer.
It's huge.
So yeah, sorry to the listeners who are here to learn about building a home. This
You
is
can now
more
learn to build a business.
This is more for all the followers that have been sending us messages and DMing us asking, you know, for advice.
Yep.
This is for you guys because trying to write this in a text or like an Insta message.
It's taken us 50 minutes.
I can't. So hopefully you learned something today anyway.
Yeah. There's a lot to it, but yeah, best of luck if you want to get into the industry, or if you want to do that transition from working just for one builder into the builder broker side. It's rough, but there's a lot more opportunities there for everyone. There's plenty of people out there. There's plenty of people that are still not getting serviced correctly, so you might be that bit of a difference. If I see you in the market and we're up against each other, fucking good luck to you.
Hold your beer, but good luck.
Hold my beer, good luck. Nah, but at the same time, all we want to do is help support and hopefully get some guidance for everyone.
Absolutely.
Competitors and clients. Hopefully this has helped someone.
Yeah. So like, subscribe, give us a follow, comment below what you want to hear next. Follow Mr. Enthusiast on anywhere you can find us.
On all our socials, especially YouTube. YouTube, we're doing heaps of like video walkthroughs, and obviously all the video versions of our podcast is on there, so you get to see our lovely faces. But and just help grow our podcast would be amazing. And just follow us on socials. If you find something, flick us a message as an idea. We'd really love to hear it, and we love feedback.
Love covering it.
Yep.
Just remember, guys, we're not here
To fuck spiders.
fucking oath.
Catches.
Bye.